Hey YouTubers, it's Valerie with Money Mindset Coach, and today I want to tell you how I lost 25 pounds in 6 weeks. And I gotta tell you, this is just so amazing to me that I just felt that I had to share how I did it, because I am 67 years old next month. Like in a few days, it's going to be March. I'm going to be 68. And just background, I weighed 110 pounds in my adult life in my 20s until I got married at 27, had kids. I ended up, after 3 kids, being about 135. And I was 135 until probably about 50. And then at 50, I just, oh my gosh, it's like all of a sudden I was going up a dress size. And that really bothered me. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And so I did go on a diet. I did do something where I lost the weight. I went back to what I had been, size 8. For most of my marriage, I was a size 8. And so I went back to that. And I pretty much kept myself there until I hit 60. And I got to tell you, when I hit 60, I don't know. It's like nothing worked. And I was gaining weight. And, I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I kept gaining weight every year. And then it finally got to the point to where it's like, okay, I have got to do something about this, because if I keep gaining weight like this, what am I going to weigh when I'm 75? What am I going to weigh when I'm 80? I had to do something. And so I found Dr. Mark Hyman. He has a YouTube channel. He has a podcast. I found him. And I don't even know how I found him, but I did. And I'm just so glad that I did. I think I might have found him because he had a video about ultra processed food. Oh yeah, he had a video with a doctor who decided to eat nothing but ultra processed food for a month. And he kind of documented how he felt. So I started listening to this video, and I was so taken with how bad ultra processed food is. And ultra processed food is a lot of what we have out there. And literally, I changed my attitude. I used to think that the pretzels in the bag, the potato chips, the cookies, the Oreos, which I have loved my whole life, I always looked at those as food, real food. But you know what? Deep down, it's really not. It's really not. It is bad for you. So after that video, I thought about it, and I thought, I'm just gonna cut that out. And I started looking at what was in my house, got rid of it, didn't go into the store and buy it. I just cut out all the stuff that's in that crappy aisle. And we all know where that aisle is in the grocery store. It's all the cookies, all the chips, all the pretzels, the Doritos, all of that aisle. I stayed out of it. I didn't buy anything in there. And I quit eating it. And do you know what happened? I lost 5 pounds easily with quitting eating that. So I thought, wow, I'm on to something. So I started watching more of Dr. Hyman. And he started talking about his 10-day detox. And I thought, okay, let's do that. So I read the whole book before I did anything. And I thought about it, and I thought every day that I read that book and I was learning more about the human body, how food affects it, I educated myself before I went to do the actual 10-day detox because I wanted to understand why I was doing it. I had to know the why. I'm a big why person. If I watch a Dateline, 48 Hours, 2020, any of those, I don't care how somebody murdered somebody. I want to know why. So I've always been a big why person. I am a questioner. I have to know the why. And we all have to know the why of why we do anything. There's reasons why we do what we do. And that's why I read the book. And every day I read a chapter or I read an hour, whatever. And I learned. And then after I got done reading the book, The 10-Day Detox, I felt like I understood why I was doing it, what was going to happen to my body. I was ready. I was ready to do it. And, I think any of us can do something for 10 days. You can do it. You can really do it. So basically, read the book. Then I started the 10-day detox. And what you do when you do that 10-day detox is you cut out caffeine, which I'm a big coffee person. I was used to the caffeine. Alcohol. I used to work at a winery. I live in a tourist town that has many, many wineries and distilleries. Alcohol is big in the town where I live. And I was used to drinking. I really was. I didn't drink every day, but I didn't really see anything wrong with it. Since then, no, that's not the case. So then, so it was caffeine, alcohol, but the big thing was sugar. Oh my gosh. I always called myself a junk food junkie. I did. I was hooked on sugar. And I have to say, out of caffeine, alcohol, and sugar, sugar is the enemy. It is evil. It is awful. It's terrible. And so I cut out those three things. And so basically, my deal for that 10 days was a smoothie in the morning. And then lunch was a salad. And then dinner was a protein and vegetables. I wasn't having bread. I wasn't having rice. I wasn't having potatoes. Wasn't having those things. It was basically meat and vegetables. No sugar. Boom. And that's how I lost the next 20 pounds. I did. When it comes to dress sizes, like what I was talking about in my 50s, I hadn't gone up just one. I had gone up 2 or 3. And I was getting to the size where people say the average American woman. So really, was I obese? No. But I was right at that limit when I went to see my doctor, that if I gained another pound, I was going to be in the overweight category. I was not going to be within this healthy, for my height and age, weight anymore. And to me, I think what we have to do, and this goes for men too, but I think this really hits home with women. Where do you feel comfortable? And I had gotten to the point to where I was not comfortable at the weight I was. I didn't feel good. I really didn't feel good. And I knew kind of where that weight was, that where I was comfortable. I was comfortable. And so 10 days goes by and I am close to that 20-pound extra loss. Well, then when you get done with the 10-day detox, they tell you, okay, if you want to maintain, if you want to keep losing, it gives you some options of where you go from there. And so basically, I was going to kind of keep eating the same way that I was. No sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine. I kept up with that. And the other thing that also Dr. Hyman talks about is intermittent fasting. I used to have dinner and then eat up until the time I went to bed. And the thing is, you don't want to do that because that is very hard on your body. You basically go to bed and your body is doing all this digestion. Where what I do now is when I come home and I have my dinner, and sometimes that's a salad if I'm working. It's a salad, and I'll explain what a real salad really should be. And then that's usually at 6 o'clock. And I don't eat after 6 o'clock at night. And then I don't have my smoothie in the morning until 8 o'clock. So how far am I going? I am doing a 14-hour fast for my body. I am giving my body 14 hours rest from digestion before I eat again. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, on my work days, what I take with me, because now that I have gotten to this 25 pounds, I'm still losing. I did go on vacation at the end of January, and I had a wonderful time. I did gain 2 pounds, but that was eating out 2 times a day. I was worried that I was going to gain more than that. And I can go into how I didn't, and maybe I only gained 2 pounds. So that's not bad. I've lost 1 pound of that. But what I do when I'm working is I take a protein bar with me. I have incorporated caffeine again, alcohol. I will drink maybe socially, like I'm going to be eating Mexican with my friend, and I'll have margarita. I will do that. There are certain things. It's like I go to a birthday party and there's birthday cake. I will have a piece of birthday cake. But once you get to the weight that you want to be, or you're still losing, it's okay, and Dr. Hyman talks about this. It is okay to occasionally have something like that. You do not have to deprive yourself of those treats. Deprivation and never having a treat, you can't do that. But what you don't want to do is drink alcohol on a regular basis, consume sugar on a regular basis. You don't want to do that. Now, I had pretty much cut out dairy during that time too. Well, no, I have to say, I would still have butter. I will not have margarine. Margarine is man-made. I won't do it. I still would have butter on occasion for this, that, or next. And I still had eggs. Eggs are fine. But regular milk, no. I have been drinking almond milk since 2012. 2012. So I've been doing that for a long time. Regular milk, there really isn't a reason for anybody to really drink that, you know. I have incorporated yogurt. I was a big ice cream lover. I had to say goodbye to ice cream. But once I did the 6-week thing, I thought, you know what? Yogurt, fermented, it's a fermented food. Fermented foods are okay. I kind of incorporated some yogurt into my life. I have actually come to the point where I like yogurt. I actually do. But this video is really about how I did that 25-pound weight loss. And the benefits of this is I move easier. I don't have pain. I actually started wearing some things, this sweater included. There were things that I wasn't wearing. Pairs of pants that I didn't even want to try to put on because I knew that they didn't fit. And that was depressing. That was depressing. I didn't want to try those on and find out, oh yeah, they don't fit. I didn't want to do that. It was too depressing. I didn't even want to go there. So all of a sudden, there's all these clothes in my closet that I am able to wear again. And the whole reason, like this sweater, at the weight that I was, 25 pounds more, it didn't look good. It didn't look good on me. And this is a Calvin Klein sweater. I got this at the thrift store. And I bought it because it was Calvin Klein. You know Calvin Klein, it's got this reputation. I like black and white together. So I bought it. But then with the weight that I'd gained, the sweater didn't look very good. You have stripes that go across this way. I felt like it made me look really big. And so I had put it in the Goodwill box. And then when I lost the weight, I started pulling some of that stuff out and realizing, well, I don't know why I put that in there. Oh yeah, it didn't look good on me anymore. That's why I was getting rid of it. And then, since then, I've had tops that were just big. They were just big. They weren't going to show the stomach. They weren't going to show, the little spare tire that I had. And I started looking at them and I'm like, I don't have to wear those anymore. It was great. And so I just want to be encouraging here. Sugar is an enemy. It is an enemy to your body. It does you no good. Caffeine, you really don't need it. You can drink decaffeinated coffee and you can get the benefits from coffee without the caffeine. You truly can. And alcohol, very, very sparingly. It does a number on your body, and the number that it does is not good. It is not good. So basically, get rid of the ultra-processed food. Don't go down that aisle. When you make something like cornbread, pancakes, a cake even, if you choose to bake a cake, Dr. Hyman is not against baking in your own home, because when you do that, you know what was put into it. But when you look at a mix and you look at the ingredients, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's in that mix that wouldn't be in there if you just made pancakes from scratch. If you made your chocolate chip cookies from scratch. All these things. Don't get any of the frozen fruit or frozen food like the lean cuisine. Marie Callender. I loved Marie Callender. But do you know how much preservatives go into those? to have those in, and then it's in plastic. All of us have heard about microplastics. I'm just now learning about that. But the frozen pizzas, no, don't do that. If you make a pizza, make it yourself. You can have pizza, but make it yourself. You can do it. Cooking, baking from scratch has become huge. We are realizing that these mixes, these processed foods, the convenience foods are not good. They are not good for us. We need to cook more at home, cook from scratch, and you will be healthier. Absolutely healthier. And I have changed my life by doing the 10-day detox, getting off of this stuff. I'm wearing clothes I haven't worn in years. And I am almost back to the weight that I was for over 20 years after having my kids. I am almost back to that. And I might go even farther than that. I might. I don't know. But this is just something that I really felt that I wanted to share with all of you. I haven't been on YouTube that much lately because I want to have something really important to say. And I kind of felt like I had said a lot of what I could say, but this is just something I really, truly felt like I needed to share. And I really hope that, check out Dr. Hyman on YouTube. He's incredible. He talks about everything. He talks about diet. He talks about dementia. He talks about everything medical. He's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. And I watch him every video that comes out. I watch him. And that 10-day detox and everything that I have done since then has changed my life. And so please give him a listen. I think it could change your life too. So anyway, what I always say is use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Be healthy. Cut the sugar, cut the caffeine. Don't drink alcohol. And you will be better off for it. So until next time, whenever that is, see you later. Bye.